And a very exciting episode, the week of Mule Deer Days 2025, and excited to bring to you some more information about this great event. And as I indicated last week, my favorite two components of this entire event are centered around the guest that I have today, who has been instrumental in helping facilitate this effort. But I want to talk specifically about seminars, the education component built into this, and of course that is synonymous with youth activities and our Inspire a Kid initiative that the Game and Fish Department brings to the table as a partner for Mule Deer Days 2025, welcoming Regina Dickson, the Information and Education Specialist based out of the Green River Regional Office. Welcome, Regina.
Good morning, Josh. It is great to be here with you this morning.
It's absolutely great that you could make this time. This is a very important episode. As I indicated, these are the staple components within Mule Deer Days that really, in my mind, is the heart of the effort. And so I think we should probably start at the top, though. Your involvement with Mule Deer Days has been there since the beginning in year number 1. And how I feel about the effort you put forth on this and the partnership that we have with Wyoming Game and Fish Department to be able to bring this event to the public. But give me an indication of what your thoughts are. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I guess I am. Just what you have seen this event as it's grown from year 1 to what we're about to launch to the public. Less than a week, Mule Deer Days 3.
We live and we learn, and we've been faced with everything from road closures to competition with shed antler hunting season. But I think being adaptable and really trying to suss out what the public needs to know and wants to know is something that guides our mission. Game and Fish's involvement with the Mule Deer Days is really an effort to showcase who the department is and that we work for everybody who loves our wildlife, and mule deer are no exception to that and might need more attention than some of our other species because they're definitely having a harder time than our elk are right now. It's definitely nice to focus on Mule Deer Days, raise money for habitat work so that we can help support our mule deer populations, and really a chance for us to interact with our public in an informal setting where it's really fun, but we're just available to help answer any questions, whether that's about hunting or diseases. We've got biologists on hand for the entire event to really work with the kids and interact with our public, but also showcase partnerships, because nothing in wildlife management would get done by a single entity. It really takes the group to make it work. And I love that we have this event here in Sweetwater County where we can really showcase that collaboration piece and the difference that we can make for our wildlife because of that.
Said. I don't know if it could have been said any better. You're right. The flavor of the day in the conservation efforts of the 21st century is collaboration, and certainly collaborating with our state agency, the folks in charge of managing our wildlife. That's first and foremost. The education component that is built into Mule Deer Days and has been there from the onset. There is a lot of effort that goes into this that maybe folks from the outside don't recognize or are able to realize. But the planning to change and be able to continue to offer worthwhile, interesting, and thought-provoking seminars with field experts from their expertise, that's a heavy lift to be able to do this now 3 years. And you've been right in the middle of all of this in scheduling this, being able to attend the meetings that plan for this event on a regular basis. What can we look for the 2025 Mule Deer Days seminar schedule? What does that look like? Let's go through some of that.
We've got some highlights. One that I'm really excited that's a new addition and a little bit different than a seminar is a book reading of the Magnificent Mule Deer, which was authored by a local Wyoming woman and illustrated by her daughter. The proceeds from that book are some come back right to conservation. And so Mary Fichtner is going to kick off the seminars with her book reading, which I think is really special. That's a piece that's really targeting at bringing some of the kids in as well, but also just celebrating our local authors and our deer. And then I've also got local experts. Our disease lab manager, Jessica Jennings, is going to come and give an update on chronic wasting disease. We've been seeing a lot of that in the news. Game and Fish has been putting out a lot of news because it's creeping into the feed grounds. And so just giving up-to-date real-time information from the disease lab manager. That's going to be another thing that we talk about on Friday. We've also got great partners from the Sweetwater County Sheriff's Department that are going to come and do a first aid training on how to stop bleeding. Hunters are in situations where they might cut themselves all the time, working with knives and that sort of things. But what an applicable thing to have, that stop the bleed training is going to be really interesting. Wydot's engineers are going to come talk about the wildlife crossings, and specifically the next one that's coming down the line on Highway 189 between Kimmer and Evanston. And those things, when we get a wildlife crossing up, it's proven that we reduce those collisions by over 85%. So that's very meaningful for people who travel through the state as well as for our wildlife populations. Some you might have a better grasp on. Your friend Cody Robbins coming down from Canada. Do you want to talk a little bit about what Cody has to offer?
Cody is, one, he's a tremendous human being, but two, he's an excellent speaker, a phenomenal storyteller, and his experiences in the field and the way he's able to have an audience that follows that with his television program. Him and his wife Live to Hunt with Cody and Kelsey. It's a blessing for us to be able to have him and to be an ambassador for the Muley Fanatic Foundation. He certainly, his first love is mule deer, and he's a great partner. We're excited to have him at the event and to his seminar last year. He knows that he's also up in his game. He has to raise that bar just like we try with every event to bring something different to the table and to make it better and encourage people to want to continue to come and support these events. Those are always nice, and having a guy like Cody will be great. He won't disappoint, I guarantee you.
He was so entertaining last year, and I can't wait to see what he's bringing this year. So that'll close out the Friday seminars. From Game and Fish on Saturday, our new director, Angie Bruce, will be giving a director's update at noon. And then you'll hear from our conservation education coordinator, Parker Everhart. We also have Brianna Ball, who is now working for the Wildlife Fund, coming to talk about her program, Wildlife for Tomorrow. Another just getting off the ground, great program for raising funds for wildlife. And then to close out Saturday, we have our Bearwise coordinator. He's going to be here all week with our booth, but he's also going to give a seminar on staying safe in large carnivore country. So really focusing on how to stay safe when you're hunting or recreating in bear country. He'll also touch a little bit on lions as well. And then on Sunday, we have some project highlights coming from Muley Fanatics and an update from Kevin Monteith's shop.
We also have, and you have the schedule in front of you, our MFF fellow, Rebecca Rafferty. When is her slotted time, Regina?
She will be on at 11 a.m. on Saturday, and I just didn't have the details about what exactly she's going to talk about. So,
yeah, Rebecca Rafferty, again, our second MFF fellow. She's been a guest on the podcast in previous episodes. Certainly her work is very mule deer eccentric. She is focused on the Wyoming range mule deer herd and is the second fellow of this program, and we're very excited to have her. She'll be there all 3 days as well, and yeah.
And she's given a few seminars, I think, each year she has contributed, as she should, and also just great information about the status of our herds, the research that's ongoing, as well as the work that we are all doing so diligently to try and help our mule deer.
Yeah, there is a ton of work that's being done and a ton more work that needs to be done. As you indicated, mule deer, certainly they're seeing struggles that some of the other ungulates on the landscape are not, and this is an effort to celebrate that, but then to also recognize that the effort needs to continue and that it takes all of us. As you indicated so eloquently, this is an effort that all of us have a stake in the game to be a part of. I'm very excited about the seminar schedule because it's such a key component to this event in my mind, the education part of this and the sharing of information. the one staple that will continue to be a part of Mule Deer Days, in my mind, is that we got to continue to be talking about chronic wasting disease, getting the latest information, sharing the latest information, and then what folks in the field, that citizen science. And yeah, I'm very excited to be able to have that conversation and to have folks participate and hear what's going on with that in regards to CWD. But let's talk about something else that's a little bit more positive. All right, the youth activities. This, of course, the event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's remind folks that the times start at noon on Friday. Doors will open till 6 o'clock on Friday. Saturday, the hours are 9 to 6, and then Sunday, 9 to 2. And again, this is a free event. All of these seminars are free. Admission to the exhibit hall is free. We've got a room full, sold-out vendors on this event, and front and center, when you walk through the door, this is a change from previous years. We have moved the Wyoming Game and Fish Department to be up front and center as part of the vendor show, to be able to provide information about the department, activities, and to share their Inspire a Kid initiative, which is such a valuable program. What does that look like?
Similar to last year, but a little bit reorganized. Our shooting skills education trailer will also be here somewhere outside. And there we teach safe firearm handling and also allow kids and adults alike a chance to practice their shooting with pellet guns in the air rifle trailer. But we will have a set of inert firearms as well to really teach what is a safe way to handle a firearm for people who may not be as familiar. So there's going to be that hands-on training with the air rifle training. Inside, we are going to have that whole section. There's going to be some passive activities for kids with some fun wildlife coloring books and sheets, as well as a wildlife ID station with a biologist on standby where kids can look at hooves, pelts, furs, and really test their identification skills on wildlife. We will also have our disease lab biologists at our hunt booth, and they have some really neat models of animals and can teach hands-on where these diseases go and what happens to these critters when they get the disease. I think that's something I've seen on the other side of the state, and I'm really excited for that addition to our booth as well. The poach coach is also going to be there with our game wardens, teaching about the law enforcement side as well. And our Bearwise coordinator, again, he's going to have some really fun hands-on displays about how we can keep a clean camp and keep the bears out of there. So lots of things to offer, as well as local and regional game and fish personnel there to answer all your general game and fish questions. We've got a lot going on. We're bringing game and fish folks from all across the state. Hope you will come and see us and see what we're all about.
I'm curious, part of the game and fish booth, or that large section that you'll occupy as a footprint on the floor, will there also be an opportunity for folks to visit with the Game and Fish about the new website and the hunt planner option within that, and how folks can really dial that in to have a comfort level to move forward in their planning for future hunts?
Absolutely. We're going to have an interactive touchscreen computer. We can jump right on the website and really give people a walkthrough. And once you understand how those tools work, you can just really get into it and dive down to as much as you want to see as far as your drawing odds, non-resident quotas, but all through the Mule Deer Days, we will have people on hand who can walk through that and real life explanations. We should have great resources for anybody who really has some questions about how our hunt planning works, how applications work. Anything you ever wanted to know, we will be able to take care of and answer right there at the booth.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that aspect. I know there are several folks that I hear on a regular basis that they just struggle with being able to draw a pronghorn tag, and I've asked many of them, have you gone to the hunt planner site? Have you really done the deep dive into that to look at the draw odds and look at areas that might have a better opportunity? And this is certainly a way to showcase that for folks hands-on and really increase and elevate their level of confidence in how to work that program. And it will pay dividends. If you put the time in, there are opportunities out there. You may have to travel a little bit, but those opportunities exist throughout the Cowboy State.
And we are here to help people. We want people to be able to use our website easily and quickly, and we want it to be a better experience for them. Absolutely welcome anybody who wants to know anything to come on up. And I hear that a lot about pronghorn. People see them all over when they're driving, and they wonder why we don't have general seasons for pronghorn. And I tell them they're almost 100% success on harvest, so we really have to limit the number of tags we can issue, or we would not have pronghorn all around the state. And once people register that piece, they get it a little bit more. We do have a healthy pronghorn population. They also took a hit the last couple of years with the deer, but that's one thing that just doesn't really click, why we limit the quota on all the pronghorn tags, and that's why. They're easy to harvest.
It's a different hunt than if you're hunting elk or mule deer in wide open spaces. Being able to identify them, be able to close that gap and to have success. Antelope is a great introduction species for those that are wanting to get into big game hunting. But drawing that tag certainly can be a limiting factor. But I think if folks put in the time to learn Hunt Planner, they'll really realize that there are some opportunities out there that maybe they weren't aware of that would ensure the opportunity for them to have an opportunity this fall to hunt pronghorn.
No doubt about that.
In addition, besides all of the interactive efforts that will be on display with the Wyoming Game and Fish booth as part of Mule Deer Days, there's also some giveaways, which is not new. This is something that we have done year after year, recognizing that kids is the future. That's you can't talk conservation without talking youth, and everybody likes to win stuff. We have a great partner, North American Industrial Services. They'll be again sponsoring the special gun giveaways and lifetime license raffles for the kids. And there is a little bit of a caveat when you talk about the lifetime licenses. So let's just talk about that and get that out there real quick.
Absolutely, Josh. What a great opportunity. And I can say the past couple of years, we've only had just over 100 kids enter these drawings. The odds are great and the price is perfect. Costs nothing to enter. So thanks to that sponsor. But in Wyoming, in order to qualify for a lifetime hunting or fishing license, a person has to have at least 10 years of residency in Wyoming. So the youth that are allowed to enter into the lifetime license drawing need to meet those requirements when they enter the raffle. So they have to be at least 10 years and have been a resident of Wyoming for 10 years in order to qualify for that raffle. If they entered and they didn't meet that, they would not be able to purchase their lifetime license. So that's why we have to put some guardrails on there because of those residency requirements. But any youth can enter the drawings for those youth rifles that are giving away. So I'd really encourage parents to bring their kids out, because what a great opportunity to win a license that's worth nearly $700. That's a heck of a deal, and something that literally will last them a lifetime. Even if they move away later, they can always come back and fish or hunt birds.
Yeah, you're right. The children that win that may not recognize the value at that time. Mom and dad certainly will, but those cost increases are inevitable for those licenses. Who knows where they'll be a decade from now, but just like anything else with inflation, there is a cost increase, but it does include a lifetime conservation stamp, lifetime fishing license, and a small game and bird license. And that's, as you indicated, that's about $700 value, and there will be some of those given away, again, with the guardrails that Regina described. You do have to have 10 years residency, so if a child was born in Wyoming and is 10 years of age and has lived here all of his life, her life, certainly register, because this is a great gift.
And if there are questions, the people who are running the raffle at the table can help you decide any of the exceptions to that as well.
Yeah, and again, a big thanks to Evergreen North American Industrial Services. That's a tremendous partnership and sponsorship that we greatly appreciate and are humbled by, but they also get it. They recognize the value of our future generation.
And they have done this every year since we've done Mule Deer Days. So this is the third year, and the third year they've sponsored those licenses, which is actually awesome.
Yes, it is. In closing, Regina, I do want to visit with you just about your perspective of the planning efforts that have gone into this year's event as a whole, not just Game and Fish. You've been a key stakeholder at the table in this planning effort of Mule Deer Days from the onset. But this year and the many meetings that we have had, the changes, what is your take on this?
Well, I don't know if it's just because it's the third year, but I feel like it's getting easier. I don't know if that's just me and I'm used to this, but things seem to be like really streamlined and we've learned a lot. We're adjusting as we go. I'm excited about the timing being in March this year. Last year we had to compete with 70-degree weather and shed antler hunting. So I'm excited about the timing of this, and I think it does take a substantial effort behind the scenes, but I'm so excited to see it all come together and to put on a great event for our community.
I'm glad to hear your perspective. If it's become a little bit easier for you, maybe we got to put a little more on your plate.
No, please.
I'm just kidding. No, I think we knew going into this, the very first year, that this was going to take some time and it wasn't going to happen overnight. But I'm very confident in saying every year we have gone back to the drawing board to look at what can be improved, what adjustments need to be made, and how we can implement those changes accordingly. And I think we've continued to do that. We'll do that after this year as well. That feedback only helps us get better.
Yep, and I would encourage people who come this year, if you've got suggestions of things you'd like to see that you didn't see, let us know. This event is for our community and for our wildlife, so we really want people out there and we want people to tell us what they want to see too. So
I would be remiss if I didn't tell you how grateful and thankful I am for the effort you've put forth with this. But beyond you, I think when you look at the dedicated presenters that are volunteering their time to be able to deliver this wealth of information, this is an incredible opportunity to be able to visit with folks firsthand. The folks in the red shirts, please thank them for their involvement with this. Wyoming Game and Fish Department, an absolute key sponsor and partner in this event, and it wouldn't be possible without them. So yeah, please pass along that thanks and gratitude to Game and Fish.
I absolutely will, Josh. And while I like the timing, our wildlife crew is very busy with season setting at the same time. So for them to give up a couple of days of their time in the midst of all their public meetings and intense work that's going on right now is a huge deal. So please come and take advantage because we are here for you guys and we'd love to see you.
Regina, anything that we haven't covered that you wanted to make sure we highlighted?
Boy, if I didn't cover it, I guess they just need to come out to the events complex and see.
Again, this is a free event. Please come and support this, and I guarantee you'll be better for it. You'll learn something, and then the whole vendor component that's really not part of what we wanted to talk about today. But gosh, the vendor lineup this year is stellar. Yeah, make the time, bring the family.
I spent a bunch of money at the Azire booth because they have women's camouflage clothing that actually fits women, and it is so high quality. It's some of my favorite jackets that I wear now, too. So, yes, great vendors, and not just hunting and fishing, but also everyday clothes. But also want to put in the plug. There is women's clothing out there, and it is awesome.
Yeah, they've definitely found their niche in the market and have exploited it to the max. I think that was long overdue. And as a dad of daughters, I can tell you that was a breath of fresh air when there was backpacks that were made for the different ergonomics of the female body, and pants and jackets and waistlines and things that men just don't think about. But yeah, Azire will be on hand, and we're excited to have them back.
Great stuff. And yes, it is difficult for women to find camouflage that actually fits on their body. So,
Regina, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to visit with you, and I'm looking forward to this event like none other. This will be absolutely incredible.
Likewise, Josh. Thanks for putting us on the podcast.
All right. Regina Dickson, again, the Information and Education Specialist based out of the Green River region. If you have a question for Regina, reach out to her. That's one thing I've always appreciated about her is that she is very responsive. This is not just a job to her. She takes her job very seriously, and you can reach out to Regina. You can call her at the office. Of course, that number, 307-875-322, extension 8607 is her number. You can also reach out to her through the website, or you can find a way to reach out to Regina. You can email her if you'd like. It's regina.dickson@wyo.gov. Again, information and education specialist based out of the Green River region, talking Mule Deer Days 2025. We'll see you this weekend.
And that wraps up another episode of Wild Things and Wild Places. But remember, the journey doesn't end here. Make sure you never miss out by subscribing. Whether you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, streaming us on our website, or following us on social media, subscribing is the best way to stay connected. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more wild episodes.
Everybody knows I'm a muley fanatic.